to show you guys how I make a double batch of my soft sourdough sandwich bread that is healthy yet tastes better than the store. I'm going to show you how you can make this with minimal hands-on time using my ZACME Mixer, freeing up your day.
Everything we have is a gift to be stewarded. I'm Lise, and here at Be a Blessing Sourdough, we turn those gifts into rhythms. Subscribe to join me on a journey of intentional living and faith-filled stewardship.
So for this recipe, you're going to need warm water. This is a tip for same-day recipes. You want your loaf to start out warmer. The warmer your dough is, the faster it will rise. You're going to need your sourdough starter. Do not worry if it's not perfectly bubbly at the right point. I often just take mine out of the fridge and use it as it is. I fed mine yesterday, put it in the fridge overnight, took it out this morning, and it continues to rise. So I know that my starter is ready to go. You'll need pink Himalayan sea salt, preferably. It's a much healthier salt for you. You'll need olive oil, which we'll talk about in the intentional minute today, and honey, or alternatively, you could use sugar. I just prefer to use very natural ingredients. You're also going to need a scale. This is the most ideal way to make sourdough. So today, I'm going to use my ZACME Mixer. I switched to a ZACME Mixer because my KitchenAid could not handle a double loaf. It was struggling with just a single loaf. I have a whole review on it if you're interested in it. Today, you get to see this in action, mixing a double loaf of bread. We're going to start by taking our mixing bowl and putting it on our scale. We'll start with 600 grams of water. Next, we will add 240 grams of starter. Next, we will add 30 grams of salt. Next, we do 60 grams of honey. And next, 60 grams of olive oil. Then we are going to add 1,200 grams of all-purpose flour. Now, for my family, I just do straight all-purpose because I do have picky kids and they just like white bread. But when I make a loaf for myself and my husband, if we're only eating it, I often use different flours such as kamut or whole wheat. And now we're going to mix it with the ZACME Mixer. Slide this under here. I'm just going to turn it on a 3 for the initial mixing. And then as it forms more into a ball, I just turn it down to 2. Look at how well that is handling it. By now, the KitchenAid would be hopping across the table. You see the head here just moving slightly? That's very normal. This is a pretty stiff loaf. It's a lot of dough. Initially, we're going to mix this for just a few minutes, and then we're going to let our dough rest, come back and mix it for another 6 minutes. This is keeping you guys from having to do a bunch of stretch and folds. This allows you to be more intentional with your time in your day because you're not having to focus on a clock every 30 minutes stretch and folding your dough. This mixer just does it for you without having to think about it. All right, now we're going to stop it. We're going to let it rest for a few minutes, and then we're going to come back and finish mixing it. And while you're letting this rest, take that few minutes to just refeed your starter. If you're not going to use it right away, put it in the fridge. If you've never tried storing your starter in the fridge, it makes it so your starter no longer runs your life. Cold temperatures slow down fermentation. It still works. It's still active. It just keeps it slower. So I never actually discard my starter because by the time I take it out again, I'm ready to use it and I just feed it back what I used and put it back again. It's a super simple way to make sourdough not run your life. All right, now that it's rested a few minutes, we're just going to knead it for another 6 minutes. What I love about the ZACME, it actually has a timer function. So if you come over here, you simply turn this on, you see your bowl light come on, and here you can set your timer. So I'm going to go up to 6 minutes. Because this is a pretty stiff dough, I'm just going to mix it on 2 the whole time. And now I just let it be. When it's done, it's going to turn off. I know it's ready. And then we'll move it to our bowl for where it's going to rise. There we go. So our mixer has just finished mixing. Did you hear it beeping? Before you tilt up the head, you need to make sure you turn it off. Now this is going to be a bit heavy because that dough is all around the hook. So something people talk about is the windowpane test. They usually say that's when you know that the dough has been fully kneaded, where you can kind of stretch it and you see light through it without the dough breaking. I honestly never check this, but if you want to, you can see here, look how easy that stretches, but I'm not concerned about it. I've never had my loaves not turn out. It's just a sign that you've built good dough strength, which you need in order for your loaves to rise. So I took it all off the hook. This is a lower hydration loaf, so it's really easy to work with. Higher hydration loaves are a lot more sticky. So you see our dough, it looks really good. I'm gonna take it out. I often use a dough scraper just to get all the sides. Look at that huge ball of dough. So now all I'm simply gonna do, you can see this isn't sticky. It's really nice and smooth. Look at that great texture. That's beautiful. See that? So I'm simply gonna form this into a ball now and put it in my bowl to rise. This is my tip for you how to do same-day loaves where you can rise and bake it all on the same day. Preheat your oven 100 degrees while you're waiting for your dough to mix. Or if it's summer, put it somewhere in the sunlight or somewhere warm. The warmer it is, the quicker it will rise. Form it in a ball, Put it in your bowl. Make sure you have a bowl big enough that it can double in size. Put your lid on it and put it in your oven to rise. We'll be back once it's risen and show you guys how to shape it. All right, so it has been 7 hours for me since I put this in the oven to proof. 7 hours in a warm oven is your sweet spot. It's when you really start to see the gluten breakdown. The very minimum you want to do with the bulk ferment is 4 hours. Things are just starting to work at that point, so if you really want to get best benefits while still doing same day recipe, 7 hours is your sweet spot, but anything from 4 to 8 hours will work. If you're really in a rush, you can do the low end, but I highly recommend 7. 7 also represents completion in the Bible, so to me, that is just the perfect number. So I'm gonna show you it now. It is actually popping off the lid on my container. That means that it is probably raised enough. I used a smaller container for this, so it didn't have a ton of room to move, but look at that. That is perfect. So now it is probably gonna be stickier because it's warm. You're gonna wanna use a dough scraper. So now we're gonna turn this out on the table and we're gonna shape it. Everything I'm using here today is in my links below. Every time you guys use my links to purchase something you love here, it's actually helping me out. I make a very small commission from Amazon on it, but it's just a way that I can make some money to support my family while bringing you guys free content. So if you like anything I'm using today, please use my links. I would so appreciate you being a blessing. All right, so I'm gonna start by taking my dough scraper and I'm gonna scrape along the sides of my bowl. Make sure you get all this residue. That's why a dough scraper works so great. I'm gonna roughly cut this in half. Next step, we're gonna shape. These long loaves are perfect for making the exact size of a bread loaf that you need. As you see that springing back, that's because of the dough strength. That's a good thing. So fold it in half. Turn it over. Give it a little shake, give it a little push out. We'll do one more time. I don't worry too much about pushing the air out of this because it's still got plenty of energy to rise. So I do just try to make this as equal as I can. And I use these plastic tops to cover to allow it to rise. Now we're gonna put it back into our warm oven again for its second rise. This is where your bread is going to get to the right height it needs to before you bake it. This is an important part of the process. You're gonna wanna let these loaves rise just a little bit over their pan so that they have enough of a height to make normal bread loaves. I also preheat my oven to 100 degrees for this to speed up the process. It should take anywhere from 1 hour to 1.5 hours. All right, our second rise is complete. We'll take off our covers, see how they look. So I like when these are just peeking over the pan. If you go too high, then your bread will be too airy. So now, easy, all you do is you preheat your oven to 375. When the oven is done, you're actually gonna put it down to 350. We just want that extra high heat. It'll give it a nice big oven spring before the crust hardens over. Today's intentional minute tip. Using olive oil is one of the best things you can do. There are two main reasons. Olive oil puts more nutrients into the bread and it actually helps turn into a GI-friendly bread. Olive oil blunts your blood sugar spike. So when you eat normal bread with other types of fat, your blood sugar might go up higher. But with sourdough with olive oil, you're doubling down on two things that keep your blood sugar from spiking. This is what the Italians do, and it's partially why their bread is so much better for them. So next time you make your loaf of bread, try olive oil. Trust me, you won't taste it like you think you will. Also makes your bread so soft and moist. Being intentional with the ingredients we put in our bread is so important because it's how we can take care of our families or ourselves in really simple, small ways. So next time you make your loaf, reach for the olive oil. And if you don't have olive oil, make sure you get cold pressed extra virgin olive oil, ideally in a dark glass. When olive oil is in plastic, the plastic can actually leach into the olive oil, making it unhealthy. That's my intentional minute for you guys today. I hope it blessed you. If you want a really soft crust, my tip for you is to take butter and run it all across your loaf, fresh out of the oven. Now you can cook your loaves a little darker if you want a little darker crust. My family likes really moist and lightly cooked items. Use a pastry brush. Take one out onto the rack so you can see what it looks like. beautiful loaf. Fresh out of the oven and done by 6 p.m. They slide out of these containers so easily.